they have this party in the rec room. Cindy Campbell makes her money back. She buys her clothes, and that should have been the end of it. But Clive Campbell realized, Kool Herc realized, the father of what we call hip-hop culture, realizes we can continue these parties. I've had a lot of success. So they continue renting out the rec room of 1520 Sedgwick in the Bronx until they can't stuff any more people in there. And by the way, working the lights, you know what I mean? Flipping the lights on and off. They paid a man to do that. Eventually it goes out into the courtyard. Eventually it goes down the street to the park. Eventually everyone hears. Why? His father was a musician, owned a sound system. And that sound system could be heard blocks around. So during the gang era of the Bronx, gangs put down. They laid down their arms. Showed up to these parties in the parks. And when Herc took notice of dancers waiting, standing back, I'm not going to dance. To get to the bridge, to get to the break. That song where it's a breakdown, where the drums happen. Those drums are the break beats. They waited for the break. And as Herc says, that's when people broke. They reached a breaking point and they went off. And this becomes B-boy culture. B for break. And this is the beginnings of what we call breaks, what I call breaks culture, what you call B-boy culture. This is the beginning. But it all comes from Grandmaster Flowers and his mobile DJ system and the concept of DJing in the parks. Now, Herc is often called the father of B-boy culture. They like to say he was involved with all four elements. The truth is, nobody talked about the four elements in 1973. August of 73 was Herc's first party. We can deduce he probably didn't move out to the parks until at least late 73, if not 74. So that's when it went public, 74. How long was Herc's run as the founder of B-boy culture in the Bronx? A couple years? A few years? We have to flash forward to 1977. Herc was now DJing small-time clubs in the Bronx, ragtag clubs. And one of his main clubs he was doing at that time, he had a handle on. But he realized he had competition in Manhattan, the city, as they say. Nobody calls it Manhattan in New York. That's called the city. The center of the city is the city. And the guy who was doing everything in the city was Pete DJ Jones. Now there were other DJs, but Pete DJ Jones was notable. He did real clubs. He did what they called the adult circuit. People had to dress up to come out to a Pete DJ Jones party. Pete DJ Jones played whatever he could to make the crowd work. It was popular at the time, but he was known. Pete DJ Jones was a master of the crowd. Herc was a master of his environment. That's different. So Herc said, the way I can boost things up in 1977, invite Pete DJ Jones down for a battle. So Pete DJ Jones comes out to the club with a secret weapon. One of his proteges. This protege was smart, was intelligent. No fantasies involved. This man did his homework. He developed a mixer in an era when mixers didn't have headphones. He built something to have headphones. This man developed a concept of turning down volumes to cue up records that you couldn't hear. This is standard today in DJ practices. One man developed that, and it wasn't Herc, and it wasn't Pete DJ Jones. It was Pete DJ Jones' protege, who done his homework so much enough to credit the man that started it all, Grandmaster Flowers. His protege called himself Grandmaster Flash. And this man is responsible for refining and spreading hip-hop culture. We don't know what hip-hop means because hip-hop today is about rapping, not DJing. Not the relationship between the dancers and the DJ. But that's what it was, and that's what it is, in my opinion. Hip-hop will always be the relationship between the dancers and the DJs. And Grandmaster Flash was the one that said, not only should we do that, let's bring the package together and refine it. So he refined it by figuring out a way to beat match. Now Grandmaster Flash has openly said I think Kool Herc was sloppy. He was doing it all by vision. He was just looking and trying to get the breaks together. Grandmaster Flash was listening in headphones because he developed it. He went to electrical school to do this. But more importantly, whereas Herc gave a microphone to a man so he can grab records, that man being Kool Rock, Flash, Grandmaster Flash had a plan. You have a record boy, which became Grand Wizard Theodore, the man who invented scratching. He was pulling the records. Instead of giving a microphone to one man to call out, hey, what's up, my man? What's up, my man? Hey, everybody, all right, let's do a little rhyme, Jocko Henderson style. He hired people who had routines. So Cowboy, who'd already worked with another DJ known as Africa Bambaataa, way off at some other end, and was getting a little name. Bambaataa was a student DJ. King Disco Mario was the DJ. It was Cowboy who developed something new. Actual MC. And when Cowboy came down to work with Grandmaster Flash, hip-hop was born. And when Cowboy got some partners and a couple other partners, and they became the 4 MCs, and eventually the Furious 5, we have hip-hop today. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5 are the founders of contemporary hip-hop. The idea that the performance, the routines of the 5 MCs was what the crowd should focus on, and a DJ should keep the breakbeat going and respond to the dancers, and the MC should respond to the DJ, and there was synergy between these 3 parties. That's hip-hop. That's hip-hop more than any $1 million contract, $1 billion contract could ever do. That's hip-hop.